We are looking at a scenario built on one of the most primal human fears. Total, pitch-black darkness strips away our primary sense, leaving us entirely vulnerable to whatever might be hiding slightly beyond our field of vision. For our protagonist, a man named Raghav, this darkness is the obstacle standing between him and his singular objective. He absolutely has to reach the remote village of Rampur before dawn breaks. Raghav is operating in a complete sensory vacuum. He has no map to consult, his only light source is failing, and the dense jungle offers zero geographical anchors to help him orient himself. When the human brain experiences this level of extreme physical disorientation, it begins to abandon logic. Deprived of normal sensory input, the mind struggles to distinguish physical reality from the terrifying, irrational rules of rural folklore. In this narrative structure, survival depends on navigating three distinct psychologically engineered tests of courage. This diagram outlines the archetypal figures Raghav will encounter: the harbinger, the guardian, and the guide. As the chart tilts, we see they don't appear randomly. They function as a deliberately escalating ladder, generating a sharp upward spike in psychological suspense. These narrative archetypes provide the structure for the encounter, defining how the protagonist interacts with the landscape of the dark. Raghav experiences a brief moment of relief when he spots a dimly lit dhaba, a small roadside food stall. But the solitary owner delivers terrible news. Raghav is completely lost and has traveled far past his destination. The geography of his mistake is horrifying. The owner explains that the only path to Rampur requires Raghav to turn around and ride directly behind the local Murdaghar, an abandoned and notoriously haunted morgue. The dhaba owner serves a highly specific folklore archetype, the harbinger. The harbinger's purpose is to deliver crucial exposition and establish the exact boundaries of the upcoming danger zone. The harbinger gives Raghav one strict survival rule for navigating the morgue. He must keep moving, and he must never stop, regardless of any voices or sounds he might hear in the dark. The harbinger poses absolutely no physical threat. Instead, he is the architect of dread. He infects Raghav's mind with terrifying expectations long before the actual danger begins. Look at this decaying structure. As Raghav approaches the Murdaghar, the atmospheric pressure noticeably drops and the environment turns overtly hostile. Standing in the shadows outside the morgue is Nathuram, the night watchman. When Raghav explains his route, Nathuram lets out an unnatural laugh that sounds exactly like dry branches snapping in half. Nathuram delivers a chilling taunt. He warns Raghav that the dead inside are restless tonight, and he issues a commanding directive: whatever happens, never look back. Nathuram acts as the threshold guardian. In storytelling, a threshold guardian is a psychological barrier placed in the narrative to test a hero's absolute commitment to moving forward. Raghav's reaction is entirely primal. Feeling the sensation of unseen eyes tracking him from the morgue's open windows, he relies entirely on blind momentum, furiously pedaling his bicycle to escape. This creates immense psychological friction. Raghav has to perfectly obey the harbinger's rule of continuous movement, while simultaneously operating under the paralyzing direct scrutiny of the guardian. The most effective threshold guardians never raise a hand to strike you. Their mere presence is enough to enforce the ultimate test of a protagonist's psychological endurance. Raghav barely escapes the morgue's perimeter. 2 miles down the road, his terror subsides slightly when he spots a seemingly normal fellow traveler named Shivanand walking toward the next town. Shivanand is incredibly friendly. He calms Raghav down and provides highly precise, step-by-step navigational directions to reach Rampur village safely. But watch these feet closely. There is a terrifying anomaly subverting this moment. Shivanand's footsteps make absolutely no sound against the dirt road. Shivanand embodies the helpful ghost trope. This creates an intense, uncanny valley effect, a feeling of deep unease when something appears almost, but not quite, human, mixing Raghav's relief with creeping horror. The supernatural realm is complex and not entirely hostile to the living, yet it remains alien and unsettling to those who cross its path. Pacing quickens. The climax of Raghav's journey occurs when he politely declines the ghost's invitation to stay the night in his village, choosing instead to strictly execute Shivanand's final navigational instructions. Raghav pedals exactly 2 miles through the remaining darkness. He spots the large stone marker Shivanand described and takes the crucial right turn. Notice how the visual field shifts. The darkness pulls out of focus to reveal the warm, flickering yellow lights of small houses, and the oppressive silence shatters under the sound of barking dogs. Reaching Rampur is a psychological milestone. It represents the literal crossing back from a liminal space, a disorienting transitional boundary between 2 states, and directly into tangible reality. Raghav reached Rampur by maintaining internal focus, despite the external collapse of his environment. He successfully navigated the psychological weight of the road by following the logic of the encounter. These folk tales survive by providing a set of protocols for the unpredictable, turning a chaotic night into a series of manageable, if terrifying, checkpoints. The story provides a framework for endurance. When the darkness is absolute, the path forward is found by trusting the instructions, keeping the eyes ahead, and maintaining momentum through the silence.